Good day, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss a topic about Field Study 2, Learning Episode 12, Selecting Non-Digital or Conventional Resources and Instructional Materials. And of course, the reporter is yours truly, Cecilia Pacino. Both the teacher and student make representation of knowledge of what they have learned. Teachers when they teach or impart knowledge, and by learners when they show or demonstrate. So, both si teacher kuno kag si student is naga-show sila sang knowledge kung ano ang ila nga na-learn. Si teacher is taga-teach or impart ang knowledge, kag si learners is taga-receive sang knowledge nga gin-teach ni teacher. Tapos, after ni learners nga ma-receive ang knowledge nga gin-teach ni teacher, is i-show nanda daya kag i-demonstrate ang ila knowledge nga na-receive. The first topic is the Dale Cone of Experience. Edgar Dale's Cone of Experience. It is a classic model articulating the different types of audiovisual 75 years ago in 1946 materials and how these audiovisual types relate to each other. According to Dale, the cone device is visual metaphor of learning experiences in which the various types of audiovisual materials are arranged in the order of increasing abstractness as one proceeds from direct experience. The Dale Cone of Experience are divided into three, and the first is concrete experiences or active learning. When we say concrete experiences or active learning, it involves doing manipulation of real-life objects and direct personal involvement in real-life situations. Number 1. Direct and purposeful experience. These are the first-hand real-life experience where the learner is actively doing something. This is considered the most effective level for learning because it involves the use of all five senses. For example, performing a laboratory experiment, tree planting, and running a fun drive. The next is contrived experiences. These are edited or simplified copies of reality, such as models or simulations, used when real experiences are not practical or are too complex. Examples: a model of the brain, a mock-up of a car, and a flight simulator. The third is dramatized experiences. This involved learners participating in reconstructed events or situations like role-playing to get a closer understanding of a concept. For example, dramatic play, pantomime, a mock-up of a courtroom session. The second is observational experiences or iconic learning. When we say observational experiences, it is learning by watching, viewing, or observing. The first is demonstrations, a visual explanation of a process or idea that shows how things are done. The learner primarily observes rather than participates. For example, a cooking demonstration, how to use a microscope. The second is field trips. These are exertions to observe a real-world situation or event that cannot be replicated in the classroom. Examples are a visit to a zoo, museum, or factory. The third is exhibits. Display of models, pictures, or artifacts that provide information. They offer exposure to new ideas and discoveries. The examples are a painting exhibit, a career fair, and a photo gallery. The fourth is a motion pictures or TV. These provide a two-dimensional reconstruction of reality through sight and sound, allowing learners to experience events they cannot witness firsthand. Examples are documentaries, biography movies, and educational TV shows. The last is audio recordings or photos. These are one-dimensional aids that use either sight or hearing. The examples are recorded lectures, audiobooks, and still pictures. The third is abstract experiences or symbolic learning. It is learning through abstract representation such as verbal or written symbol. The first abstract experience is visual symbols. It is a graphic representation of concepts, ideas, or events. They are more abstract than more realistic reproduction. The examples are charts, graphs, maps, and drawing. The second is text or verbal symbols. The most abstract level consisting of spoken or written words that represent objects, ideas, or principles without a physical resemblance. And the examples are reviewer notes, selected readings, and lectures. The second topic is selecting resources and instructional materials. The resource or instruction materials should have accurate and meaningful content. The content must be correct and meaningful for you to be able to construct your instructional materials and ma-employ mo it tsakto. Number 2, align to the learning objective outcomes of the lesson. So, kinanglan ng imong instructional materials is nagamatch sa imong lesson objectives or learning outcomes para maging correct ang imong pag-present. Number 3, elicit student interest and engagement. Kinanglan makuha kang imong instructional materials ang interest kang imong student para mag-engage sanda it mayad sa imong discussion. Number 4 is inclusive and free from cultural bias. Your instructional materials should be inclusive kag free from cultural biases. No matter what ang imong religion or ang imong race is kinanglan ang imong instructional materials is fair sa tanan. Number 5 is developmentally appropriate. Your instructional materials, it should be right for the student age or level. So, for example, ang kinanglan mo gid maghimo sang instructional materials nga fit sa ilang age or sa ilang certain level. Number 6, foster critical thinking or aesthetic appreciation. So, your instructional materials should encourage critical thought or thinking. Number 7, allows collaboration among learners. So, kinanglangan imong instructional materials is ga-allow for collaboration among sa imong mga learners. For example, matao ikaw sang activity nga for tag 3 members. So, diyan na nato makita ang collaboration sang mga students. Number 8, flexible for group or self-study. So, ang imong instructional materials kinanglan flexible ma siya in order for both group and self-study to work. The last is time and cost efficient. So it means that it should be produced in a desired result without wasting time and materials. That's why we called it time and cost efficient. The last topic is the proper use of instructional materials or IM. Number 1, prepare yourself. Be clear on your lesson's learning outcomes. Have a plan on how you will use the instructional materials. Formulate the question you will ask. Determine how you will assess the learning. Of course, first, kinanglan maging clear ka sa imong lesson's learning outcome or objectives. Then, have a plan kung paano mo himuon ang instructional materials. I-formulate mo ang imong question nga ipamangkot sa mga students kag i-determine kung paano mo i-assess ang imong instructional materials nga gin present. Number 2, prepare your students. Capture the students' interest and attention. Communicate the intended learning outcomes. Provide scaffolding questions to guide them. And communicate how their learning will be assessed. In prepare your students, you should capture the student's interest and attention first. Kung na-capture mo na ang student interest kang ilang attention, communicate mo na ang intended learning outcomes kananda. Tapos, i-provide ikaw ka scaffolding or question para i-guide ang instructional materials mo nga gin-present. Then, communicate how their learning will be assessed. For example, matao ikaw sang quiz or activity, and then dyan mo ma-test kung effective ba lang imo nga instructional materials nga gingamit or hindi. Number 3, present the materials. Ensure that you have the steps well planned out. Ensure that everyone has good visual and or auditory access to the instructional materials, and be ready to answer the student's question. Of course, you should ensure that you have the steps well planned out. Kinanglan, ang steps mo sa paghimo sa instructional materials is nakaplan kag para hindi ka na magsala. Ensure mo man nga ang imo nga instructional materials nga ginhimo is visible sa tanan kag ang fair and maka-access ang tanan nga students. And of course, you should be ready nga answer ang mga questions ang students according sa imo nga instructional materials nga gin-employ. Number 4, follow up. Encourage students to interact in sharing their experience with the instructional material, their feedback, and insights. Assess the attainment of the learning outcome. Of course, you should encourage the student nga interact ang anda nga experience according sa imong instructional materials nga gin-employ, kag i-encourage mo man ang student nga mag-give ka feedback kag insight about sa instructional materials. So that's all, everyone. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learn from my discussions.